This is the Rough Country soft roll-up bed cover for the 2022 Plus Toyota Tundra. Featuring a low-profile design, this cover sits approximately 3/4 of an inch above the truck bed, which doesn't distract from your truck's overall appearance. Rough Country soft roll-up bed cover keeps the contents of your bed clean and dry while allowing for maximum bed access when you need it, due to the convenient roll-up design. Made with durable, leather-grain fabric, this easy-to-install bed cover is designed to withstand the elements, featuring tight front and rear seals to keep water, dust, and dirt at bay, while the preset tension control keeps your cover looking tight and flat for a low-profile appearance that looks good year after year. Each roll-up cover features a durable paddle latch for a firm and secure fit, which allows easy access to your cargo, and the easy-to-install mounting system, which utilizes the factory Toyota deck rail system, allows you to be up and running in 15 minutes. If you are looking for a third-gen Toyota Tundra bed cover that is low-profile with a sleek and stylish look, which protects your cargo from the elements and is budget-friendly, the Rough Country Tundra roll-up cover is a perfect option. For the price, this cover is coming in just under $300, and through our website you are going to receive free shipping. Before we get into what we like about it, what we don't like about it, along with the install, I do want to show you guys how easy it is to use this thing. With the new 22 Tundras, once your truck is locked, the tailgate will also be locked, so therefore you will not be able to open the cover up, which is really nice. So the only way to access the bed if the cover is deployed along with the truck being locked will be to cut this open. So once we open it, it does have the single latch here, which we're just gonna press, and then we are just going to roll this guy up. And once you have it rolled up, you're going to use your little straps right here and just attach this so that way they'll secure it. What's really nice about this is it completely gives you full access to the bed, and then to roll it back up, it's the same process. Now we're just gonna make sure we secure the Velcro. And there we have it, super easy to use. To talk about what we don't like. So the first thing is, and the only thing on my list, is the fact that this is a soft roll-up cover, which means that it won't be as secure as your hard, trifolds, or just like the hard, roll-ups. So theoretically, someone could get into this, by just cutting this open. However, usually it's very unlikely, as people will not be able to see in the back of your cover. Talking about some of the benefits, this is going to be one of the most cost-effective solutions for your bed covers, and also with this being a roll-up, once it's rolled up, it gives you full access to your bed. So if you do have taller loads, you can essentially pull them up all the way to the front. Another huge plus for me, with this being a soft roll-up, it does have a very low profile and sleek design. So once this is installed on the truck, you can barely see it. And finally, due to design and with the new Tundras having the deck rail system, we are utilizing that for the installation, which makes this a extremely simple install. With simple hand tools, it will take you less than 30 minutes. And with that being said, let's get into the install and how to get this thing installed. To install this Rough Country bed cover on this 22 Tundra, we are going to be utilizing the OEM deck rail system in the bed. The first thing we need to do is pop out the end caps on both sides. And you essentially just push down and pull them out. It's these guys right here. So go ahead and remove those first. We will be utilizing these provided clamps, which do attach into the deck rail system. You'll be throwing in 3 on each side. So we're gonna grab them and just slide them in. And we're going to try to evenly space these guys out with at least 4 to 8 inches from both the front and rear to give it a little bit of space. So we're just gonna slide these guys in. Now on these new Tundras, on the corners of the front side of the bed between the bulkhead and the bed sides, there will be these gaps on the corners, so we'll need to fill those in and cover them up. In order to do that, we'll use these little seals that were provided by Rough Country that have the double-side sticky tape on the back side. What we're going to do here is I'm just going to pull up on this little plastic piece right here. And this guy will sit down in here. Once we have a nice seal like that, we'll press this down. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And then as far as the orientation here, Rough Country is asking for this big fat flat piece to be towards the top. This guy right here will go towards the bottom, and this flat piece will be on the bulkhead. Perfect. Now I put this flush with the front side of the bulkhead. I'm not too worried about this little extra piece on the inside of the bed. That's not gonna get into the way of anything, and this should provide a really nice seal for us. Next up, we're gonna repeat this process on the passenger side, and next we're ready to put the side rails on. Now before we throw these side rails onto the truck, we do wanna add these little seals to the edges. So we're gonna take one of these guys right here, peel it off, and just throw them on right here. This is gonna act as a protectant not to scratch up your paint, and also as an additional seal against water and the elements from coming in. Make sure I do this guy right. There we go. Perfect. Now go through and do this on all four sides of your rails. Next up, let's go ahead and throw this guy up onto the truck. All right, we got our clamps in place. We have our seals in our corners. We are ready now to install our side rails. One thing to keep in mind, the way I've positioned these side clamps on this deck rail system is I've just followed the bolts that are holding the deck rail system in, the ones up here and the one in the center. I believe that if this is strong enough to hold on the deck rail system, it's probably a good positioning for the bed cover as well without having to measure anything out. And then that way we'll have 100% consistent mounting on both sides. Next up, we are going to be installing our deck rails. Keep in mind for the positioning, the one that has the actual release handle, that will be on your driver's side. And the way we are going to be installing these guys is to be fairly simple. One thing to keep in mind, when we're installing these, this piece right here, the flat piece, will stay flat. So this piece right here on this outside side will have the seal that's gonna sit flush against the body. And then your little Velcro piece right here will sit at about a 45-degree angle, and that's completely fine. So we're just gonna move this guy into place. And then with your little clamps on the bottoms here, the way we're going to position these, so on the bottom clamp, on the bottom groove, you want to put down to the bottom of the deck rail, and then just slide it on. And I'll get a close-up shot to show you guys exactly how I've got this positioned. And I'm just going to finger tighten these real quick. Okay, great, I've got these finger tight. Next up, I'll go through and make sure I have both sides equally positioned, and then we'll tighten these down. And then I'm going to show you guys exactly how I've got these guys mounted up with a close-up shot now. Okay, great. Now, as you guys can see, on the bottom side of this clamp, you're gonna have two grooves. We're gonna put the bottom groove onto the bottom rail right here, and then the top ones will just fit in right here. So you really cannot mess this up, and it's really easy to do it this way. With the deck rail system, it will keep it nice and consistent. Next up, we'll go through and I'll show you how I have these lined up on the top, and then we'll tighten everything up. And for the positioning back here, this is how I have it lined up right here, as you guys can see. So that should be pretty straightforward and pretty even on both sides. Next up, we'll go through, tighten up all the bolts, and then we're ready to throw the cover on. You see on here the lower tension. So what you want to start here with is the number 4 to be at the top and the front of the truck. And I'll try and get a close-up of this to show you guys how this works. Also, when you guys are adjusting your tension, it's best to do it in a warm environment. So like midday after the truck's been sitting in the sun for a few hours. With us, we are indoors pretty warm, so we'll start with the lowest tension, and then if we need to tighten it up, we'll do that later on. To do that, we'll throw this in right here, and then you'll just throw your pin in from the bottom. Now that we have our tension blocks in place, we have our side rails nicely secured, it's time to throw the cover onto the side rails. So we're just gonna take this. Now you can do this with 2 people, but if necessary, you can do it with just 1 person like myself. Now for the orientation, you are gonna have these bolts on the actual cover itself. These guys will go into the side rails, into the front openings, and then your little rubber gasket seal right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, that will go towards the front. So we're just gonna take this guy and flip him. And then you are just gonna wanna let these guys dangle down below for the time being. So we're just gonna feed this guy through. Great. Now that we have the bed cover in place, we're going to pull it up against the tension block, use the provided nut, zip it on. Okay, great. I've got this guy bolted down. Everything looks good. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to roll out the cover, and we're going to see how this is looking. Now, as we're rolling it out for the first time, we'll make sure that we are keeping it in between the rails. And once we get to the end, we're just going to clip her in. And there we have it for the install. It looks great, fits perfect. We have no visible gaps. And that's all the time we got for you today. If you guys found this video informative, drop us a like below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also if you are looking to buy this bed cover or others for your new 2022 Tundra, we'll drop you a link down in the description. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you.